Okay, so continuing our 10-minute topics, we're talking about the big one, right? Today is marketing and lead generation. So this is a topic I could probably actually talk about for 20 minutes. It might even go longer. I didn't just set my timer. Which is the first time I did that. Okay, I'm going to time it now. So there's a lot of different ways to get leads, right? When we started doing this business for 4 years, we didn't know what a lead was, right? Because we just went out and bought properties. We bought properties at auctions. We bought properties on MLS. We bought properties from realtors. We didn't understand the concept. Um, and if you want to rehab, you can do that for sure, right? You could buy from a wholesaler. You can buy at an auction. You can buy at an online auction. Um, but if you want to wholesale, you can't really do that because you're not going to buy it cheap enough to be able to sell it to another investor. So you need to go direct to seller. So we've been doing that for about 3 years. So leads are really the lifeblood of the business. As a wholesaler, if you are not getting leads, if you don't have a steady stream of leads, you're not going to get a steady stream of appointments. You're not going to make a steady stream of offers. You're not going to have a steady stream of deals. Um, so first of all the different ways to get leads. Let's talk about them, and we'll talk about what we use, what we did use. So um, direct mail is one that comes up a lot, and we've seen our best return on investment from direct mail. Right? We see different. There are different companies we use and different campaigns, but we've seen as high as an 8-to-1 return on direct mail. Direct mail is expensive. Okay, it costs almost 40 cents a postcard, and you need to send out thousands of postcards, and you need to send them multiple times to the same people. It's easy to say that I'm just going to send out direct mail once, buy a list, send it out once, and if it doesn't work, say direct mail sucks. Direct mail still works. Okay. Most of the large wholesalers out there are still using direct mail. I understand moving away from it, and if you have a lead channel that's cheaper, then you should do it. So, but for us, our highest ROI still comes from direct mail. There are also what I call DIY services. So those are direct mail companies that do everything for you. They'll pick the list, they'll pick the piece and send it out. If that makes life easier for you, it's much more expensive, but you could see very good returns from that too. We did pay-per-click for a while, and we saw a decent return. In the end, I think we're going to end up with a 3-to-1 return, but that's because we stopped paying for it a while ago, and we still have some residual deals. At the time we did it, we saw like a 2-to-1 return, and it's also very expensive, and we were shilling out as much as $8,000 or more a month for that. It's expensive. You got to pay Google a lot, and Google changed its algorithm a lot. Okay, so if you do it yourself, more power to you, but most of the time you're going to use a provider. Providers, most of them say the same thing. We're going to be on top of it. We're going to match the keywords. We're specific to your area. Most of them are full of crap, and they are going to throw your campaign out there and max out your spend so that you can max out your leads, and there's very little tweaking going on. Okay, we know that over time. So we know people that run their entire business on PPC. Those are usually the greatest, hottest leads because that's someone who's looking for a buyer for their house. We had amazing deals from PPC. We had deals that we literally closed in 4 days. But it's important to understand that PPC changes all the time, and most of your service providers don't change quickly, don't understand changes, and don't understand differences in geography. And there's really strong differences in keywords per area, and there's really strong differences in how people search and how they do in different regions of the United States. So another one is SEO, search engine optimization. It's something we've never done that I really want to. We have a website. We don't drive any traffic to it. We really should do SEO. According to a lot of people, it's a cheap way to do it, and I think we're going to delve into it soon. I've been saying that for a while, but we're going to pay someone to optimize our website so that people looking organically search. So just to explain how search works on Google, whenever somebody searches on Google, the top 3 ads and some on the right are paid advertising. That's pay-per-click. That means someone paid and said, if somebody's looking to sell a house, for example, and they put in "sell my house fast" in this region, I want to pay for the ability to get in front of them first. But most of the results below that are organic. That means that no one paid for it, but someone did the work to get optimized, search engine optimized, to show up there. So It's not free, search engine optimization. You have to pay somebody to get you optimized. There's a whole series of things you do with backlinks and whatever. Um, but it's something that's less expensive than pay-per-click, because on pay-per-click you pay every time somebody clicks, whether they even put their information into your website or not. Um, we tried Facebook. We didn't have a lot of luck with it. We found the quality of the leads was horrific. A lot as clear as the ads were, and we had a provider who was great, but as clear as the ads were, we were getting renters. As crappy as the picture of the house that was on the Facebook ad was, people would still say they want to move in. It was interesting, and we know people that run their whole business on Facebook, but their number of leads to close deal is very high, 50 or 60. So we had a service provider, and the other service providers would say they're going to funnel those leads into more qualified leads, but for us, it was very low quality. A great channel that we still use is RVM, or ringless voicemail. So you, I'm sure, have been annoyed by a dropped voicemail message in your cell phone voicemail, and that is what we do. You leave a message, and as crazy as it sounds, it's not expensive, and you're going to get a tremendous amount of annoyed people. So I would not answer those calls live. I'd send them to a recorded message that makes it very clear that if they don't want to sell a house, they shouldn't leave a message. You're still going to get people screaming at you. It works. And I know it's nuts, and I couldn't believe it worked. We see a very high return on that, and we don't get a lot of deals from it, but it's not an expensive way. You can drop 30, 40, 50,000 drops, and you'll get a few people who say, yeah, I'm thinking of selling. We had a great deal. Our first deal we got, we made $70,000 from it. It's amazing. You can get into it with there are service providers that are cheap, right? I think we use message communications. I found it to be very easy to use. It was like $800 and something for a lot of time drops, a lot of drops. I thought they were great. Just the dirty secret of ringless voicemail is that it's not all ringless. So as much as somebody tells you that it's ringless, people, we originally had a different provider who told us it was all ringless, and people would tell me my phone rang 5 times. It's not brain surgery. To pull back the curtain on ringless voicemail, they just have 2 dialers. One calls and the other one calls right after. So if the phone was ringing, technically the second one should go straight to voicemail. But that timing isn't always exact. So there are TCPA. That's the act that talks about calling issues. You could get a violation. Someone could report you. But I never run a business worrying about lawsuits about things that are minor. Right? I know people that deal with that. They have TCPA. There are people out there in other parts of the country who just look for that stuff and then sue you and basically say, give me $5,000, I'll drop the suit. Whatever. Listen, that's a risk of doing business. I like RVM a lot. Cold calling works. Cold calling is cheap. You got to get callers that are relatively inexpensive. There's a great program out there from a guy named Brent Daniels called TTP, Talk to People. And it works. As crazy as it sounds, you call people and you find the people that are just, you caught them on a day where the tenant told them to screw off and lit the kitchen on fire, and they want to be done with the house. Calling works. We use it. Texting works. Okay. I don't know how long it's going to work, because I think the carriers like Verizon and AT&T are going to try and slow that down, but texting works. The truth is, if you get a good list and you have numbers, you want to hit it as hard as you can. So we buy lists and we mail them, cold call them, text them, RVM them. We mail them multiple times. We'll do anything. You got to attack people. Everybody has a preferred method of communication. So, a lot of older people, love mail. To them, mail is everything. Go to the mailbox. It's a big deal. They'll never text. They don't even know how to text, even if they have a phone that can text. And then a lot of younger people will never answer their phone. Never. They don't recognize the number. But they'll answer a text in 5 seconds. And then I saw older people also. They'll listen to that message, the ringless the voicemail that you sent on their phone. That's a big deal. Some younger people respond to Facebook. The point is, within your budget, you need to hit. If you have a good list and you're pretty sure that list is people that are more likely to sell than not, more likely to sell than a cold list, you got to hit them every way you can, and you got to approach them every way you can, because you want to get that person in the method of communication that he prefers. And there are people who will never ever call you back, even after they told you, I want to sell my house, but they'll text you in 5 seconds. And there's people who will never respond to anything except to ring this voicemail. And there's a lot of people, and older people really are more of our targets than younger people, in my opinion, at least in our area, who really love mail. Like, mail to them is a big deal. You sent me something. We get calls. You put something in my mailbox. You know, I want to talk to you about this. We get people upset. How dare you? How dare you mail me? You got to generate leads. You got to try different ways. Okay, and if you're in a place that has good public data, you can stack lists, which is a really good way. Take lists, multiple lists of people with different pain points. If they have multiple pain points, that's a way, a list you should focus on. The main thing about marketing is consistency, especially with direct mail. I mean, it's so easy to send out a mailer or 2 mailers and say, mailing sucks, I don't want to spend any money on it. You may not get anything from that list till you mail someone 6 times, 7 times sometimes. So you got to be consistent. You got to hit people multiple ways, and you got to keep approaching them until they tell you to stop. Literally, until they say, "Take me off your list." And we get calls like that every day, and they don't bother me at all. People screaming at me, yelling at my leads manager, telling him F you, F you, F you. How dare you? Did you see a sign here? It's irrelevant. You got to not even think about that. If you're afraid of that, don't market. You're going to get that. It's not a maybe. It's a definite. You're going to get people pissed off at you. Not a doubt. We get it every single day. How dare? Sometimes they're nice. Please take me off your list. I'm not selling the house. And sometimes they're belligerent. I get people who will call them. They'll call back 50 times. I had a guy we texted once who sent me cat facts, like 80 of them, over 3 weeks. Do you know how much time he must have spent getting cat facts and texting them to me? I don't care. They think, oh, I'm going to really take up this guy's time. I don't give a crap. We're in a marketing business. This is our business. I really wish, in 2013, someone had told me you're in the, actually, people did tell me we're in the marketing business, and we didn't listen. We said, F that, we don't market. We just go to the auctions and buy. We were stupid. If we would have known we're in the marketing business in 2013, I can't even think how much further we'd be now in 2019. So you got to market. You got to figure out which channel you want to use, or multiple channels. You got to get a list. You got to hit the list a lot. That's just how marketing works. Get a lot of leads, whittle those down to people that are interested, get in front of them. If you're not doing this virtually, but in our area, we get in front of them, get a live appointment, make offers, and you'll get deals.